Testing 1, 2, 3. We're live. I'm going to assume that you guys can hear me because apparently every day you can hear me, so I don't need to wait for confirmation. All right, let's go ahead and get ready for our 9 a.m. hourly check. Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Busy weekend for me. Not a lot of rest for the wicked over Easter. I was working on the website and some other things, but these things have to get done, so I'll be happy when that's all set up and finished. The VolPro Edge website's coming together. Looks good. Still some things to get going there, but we're getting on our way. All right, so let's do we're doing flash reversal week. So this is the flash reversal week. Let's go ahead and look at our hourly charts for the 9 a.m. check here in 2 minutes. Here's ES, the hourly's in congestion. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for an overextended market that's flashing into a key level and ready for a reversal. This is reversal week. So that is not a flash there on ES. NQ, no flash. The Dow here, I mean, that's a little bit of a pocket flash, but that's not really the kind of flash we're looking for here in reversal week. The Russell is not flashing. The 10-year is not flashing. Bonds are getting smoked here. The 30-year and the ultra bonds not flashing. Let's look at gold. Wow, just continues to be meteoric. We talked about this in yesterday's week ahead analysis video that gold was looking very, very bullish, and there you go. I was thinking maybe you get a little bit of a pullback, but no. I mean, that gap open above these DMLs was pretty telling on on gold here. Let me just make sure I get my drawing tools on for you guys. One sec. What's up, Cam? Good morning. Okay, you can't see my charts. Oh, what? Okay, I see. Maybe I'm streaming the YouTube thing instead. All right, let me figure out how to do that. Sorry. Can you guys see now? Is that better? You didn't miss anything. I'm just going through the markets. Yeah, okay. Thanks for letting me know. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think when I was just streaming there and you guys saw this screen over here, you know, sometimes there's like keys where people can hijack your stream. I don't think I showed any of that sensitive information, right? I don't really know how that stuff works, but I think we're all good. I don't think my key got shown over here. So just OBS and yeah, okay. Anyways, thanks guys, appreciate it. So what I was saying is with trend reversal flash week, we're looking for flashes. So far, the indices didn't have anything. The Dow is the closest one. I wouldn't really consider this like a reversal flash. You know, this is more congestion trading. We're looking for, you know, overextended markets that are looking to flash into key areas for reversals, right? So the Dow, you have a nice little, that's kind of like a pocket flash for sure, but you're in congestion here, right? So that's not what I would characterize as a reversal flash. Does that make sense, you guys? So if we look at gold, the gold hourly, you know, we could be setting up for a flash. If this pushes higher, you can see this flash potentially setting up. The question is, would we want to go short gold? You know, probably not, but if the daily pushes right up against that extension, you know, up in there, and then the weekly, you can see you got these DMLs on the weekly. I mean, there could be some resistance. You got that old extension, these stacked DMLs. So you've got some resistance here on gold for sure at like 34.51. I know I said don't short gold, so we probably won't, but it's still good to be aware that if this thing just keeps going up without a pullback and runs right into all that resistance with a flash, it's something we could at least take a look at. But I wouldn't really recommend shorting gold because, yeah, you might get a good correction, but the easier money is going to just be the long side. All right, let's look at silver. 9 a.m. there, no flash. Very powerful trend run. There's copper. That gave a very nice pullback right there. there's a flash. I mean, you can see on the 8 o'clock hour, we missed that for copper, but that's kind of what we're looking for. That's a nice flash right there. Close back down here. You'd want to short it. I don't think you'd want to short in here. You'd want to short, you know, more up into that level there. But the metals are pretty bullish, so I don't know if I would take that kind of a flash. But you see, it does, you know, you still get like a nice reaction here on copper. This is when the 15-minute right here punched up in there. But I don't know. Metals are very strong right now, so not really good markets, I don't think, to short. Let's look at platinum. Hourly on platinum, no flash there. Let's get crude. The crude 9 a.m. right there in the middle, no flash. You guys can see my mouse, right? So when I draw, yeah, okay, cool, Adam. Jose, nice. All right, so that 8 a.m. Sorry, the 9 a.m. close right there for crude, no flash. We're in congestion. That's a little bit of a flash right there on natural gas for sure. So that's a nice flash, something we're kind of looking for. Now, I wouldn't buy this right here because this would be for a reversal to the long side. But hopefully here you can see that flash very clearly. But nat gas is falling out of bed. So, you know, you don't want to take that flash reversal long when the daily's falling out of bed. You know, we're in a very powerful trend run to the downside. So I'm going to educate you guys on these, not just on the ones that we're taking, but on the ones that I see that I'm not taking. I'm going to teach you why I'm not taking them, right? This is how we stay out of trouble. And it's probably even more important than finding the good trades is don't get sucked into the subpar trades, right? That's how we manage our risk. So with the daily in a trend run down, failed congestion entrance up attempt here, you know, taking out these lows, do you want to bet on that reversal? No. Now, it might pop, fine, who cares? But we want to take our trades with the higher time period energy, right? Hope, is that clear for you guys? How I'm now, you saw during congestion week last week, and now you'll see with reversal week this week. Are you starting to see how I use the higher time period to just like filter stuff out? No, because it's not in line with the overall direction of the daily and the weekly, which is super important. All right, so here is heating oil, no flash. That was the congestion close. Just gasoline, no flash. Let's look at the euro. Very, very tight market right there, no flash. You know, the currencies I'm just not really nuts about trading. But if we see something, we might still trade it. But all right. There's just not like typically enough volatility in the FX market. I guess right now there's volatility. I'll let you know if I see anything on the FX market. They're all kind of the same. No flashes. Let's look at Bitcoin. So I think that was a pretty good call on Bitcoin last night. Hey guys, at the analysis, you can see the daily right here, right? And I think if you go back to last night's analysis video, I said, hey, I kind of expect something like this because of what we were seeing on the weekly. So now you can see, and hopefully, Jacob, if you're here, hopefully you can start to see now, because I know you always like, well, what about, you know, if I'm like, there's a pocket here and I'm going against that and I'm scared. There's a pocket here and I'm going against that. Like, oh, there's resistance. And no, when these pockets break, they're equally powerful to the side they break through. So that's how you got to use everything as a package with the multiple time period analysis. So here on the weekly, we had every reason to believe that we were going to continue to cycle up, which is why I thought this would push up like this, right? And that is what ended up happening. So nice read there on Bitcoin for sure. So, you know, Bitcoin's very bullish. So we'd be looking for flashes to get long down into support. We don't really have that here. Ethereum, we can't really trade. Corn will reopen at 9:30. So no flash there. These are the last hourlies, you know, since we closed down. Or maybe are the ags? Yeah, they're open today. Because some European markets, I believe, are still celebrating Easter, right? But the US markets are open. Here is wheat, no flash. Could be potentially setting up for a flash, but no flash yet. Soybeans, nope. Soybean oil, no, these can sometimes be flashes when they're way extended like that, but I'm more looking for like pockets and true lightning flashes here for real reversals. Soybean meal, nope. And then the meats don't open. Okay, so you know the closest, the actual flashes we saw for 9 a.m. really there was only one, and that was natural gas right there. And we decided not to take that because of the reasons I outlined. The Dow, you know, has, this is a congestion, that's more of a pocket, right? So that doesn't really qualify. So that's kind of where we're at here with the 9 a.m. hourly check. Just overall, let me know if you guys have any questions. And if for whatever reason YouTube is not letting you type in the chat, just DM me in the Discord and I'll take a look at your DM. So just overall, based on our analysis last night, I said I wasn't really sure what the indices were going to do, but I think we pretty much now have our answer, right? So even at open, when we kind of gapped a little lower and then bang off to the downside, and gold was gapping up and Bitcoin was rocketing, you could see that it was a risk off environment. People were dumping stocks. I guess that was because Trump threatened Powell or something. I think that's all theater. I don't think Trump is going to be able to mess with the Fed. I think the Fed is more powerful than the president. So I think it's all just charades. I don't get too caught up in it. I mean, it moves the markets for sure, but we have all the information we need on the charts, right? We don't need to speculate about what Trump is going to do, or, you know, we just need to look at our multiple time period analysis, our DMLs and all that kind of stuff. So with the daily here on ES, you know, now that we've got all this broken DML here above us, the daily is trying to get into a trend reversal to the downside, right? Because we were trending up, called that beautifully to the downside. And now I was wondering, well, are we going to stay in congestion here, or are we going to get the trend reversal going? We have our answer now. I mean, this is looking like we're probably going to close below 53.53 for the day. So it looks to me like the indices are going for trend reversal. So quite bearish. So what we'd be doing, looking at the charts the rest of the day, is we'd say, look, we want to try and pick up a flash. If these markets can get a little counter trend rally going on the hourly and then set up a flash at some point today, that would probably be a good short to go back down, because you're with the daily and the weekly energy to the downside, right? So David, hey Andy, this is not related to flash reversal, but could you look at platinum? Sure, yeah, no, we got time now. So ask any questions, guys. We're on reversal week, but when we do the hourly check and there is no hourly, you know, reversal setup that we want to take, then tell me other markets like David just did that you want to look at and ask questions so I can teach you guys while I'm here. You know, that's kind of the best use of our time. Yeah, so here you go, David. What about platinum? Are you saying, this is also really interesting. You guys can see here on this, that's a pretty nice flash right there. It's like a big flash. You're up and through the extension, but that zone is still holding. You're right below the true average. That's nice. I don't know if I mean, it's not a bad short, even though the metals are super bullish. You're still into this pretty steep daily pocket. You know, you're right at the weekly reaction resistance. So that I might have considered that short there on platinum for sure. Let's see what the 15-minute did. That's it. 15 was also flashing right there. So that was a pretty good double flash. This is not a typical lightning, but what I was going to point out is, do you see here, if you pay attention, guys, to the subtleties, look at the flash here. You see that flash? It's giving that away that this is, even though this is not a perfect flash because it's not 3 sections, look at those 3 sections underneath. So these are the subtleties that you'll start to pick up. A potential long on platinum here. I mean, it's a potential long, but to be honest, I don't like what we're coming out of. There could be a lot of support here for sure, but when you're coming out of a flash this big, I mean, yeah, we could push back up here, David, like that, but I wouldn't really bet on that. Um, it doesn't look like a bad trade. It just doesn't look, great because we're coming out of that. I actually like that short better because that short flash, you're double flashing on the hourly and the 15-minute. You're into that steep daily pocket. You're pretty close to the daily extension right there. You're into that weekly, pocket. So even though I'm bullish metals, that was still, I think I might have taken that one on platinum. But the long here, I'd be careful. Does that make sense, David? I know you guys are here on my camera. I'm just reading the comments and going over the charts and all that kind of stuff. AB, Andy, what do you think about when you talked about two-bar exhaust and the flash? Is that similar in a way? Yeah, like those are good reversals. The two-bar push, that's another version of the flash that we're going to be covering. If I see those this week, we'll definitely take those because that's part of the reversal, the flash reversal playbook. And the flashes, they're not just perfect, lightning bolt structure like you normally see. You get a lot of these two-bar pushes that are good. Basically, what we're doing is this is exhaust week, and exhaustion is when price. This is a great example here on platinum on the hourly. Like, and it's an exhaust. The two-bar push, bar one, bar two, big exhaust. So the VolPro reaction resistance level is flashing out. You're holding underneath these DMLs, right? The extension DML and the core DML. These are a zone of resistance right here. So that's an exhaust flash for reversal. Not to mention you do actually have the good flash pattern underneath you here, which is also a telling sign. So, and the 15 minutes giving you the same nice exhaust right there with that flash. Okay, good, David. I'm glad you got it. And Adam, let me know if that's clear for you about the two bar. Yeah, so platinum for us. And this is why, guys, like live streaming is just, I'm here for a couple hours, a few hours, whatever it is. But, for those of you in different time zones, these markets are open 24 hours a day. So if you want to do your hourly check, and if you think you see a flash, share it in the Discord and, let everybody know. Okay, looking at the gold charts, midnight close on the hourly was a pullback. There would be a two bar. Okay, let's check. Good question. Let's go look at gold. And so midnight, I mean, right? Yeah, number one, that is a beautiful, beautiful pullback on gold. You're into that pocket. Yeah, it's technically a congestion entrance bar. You got to be careful of those, but in this case, I would classify that as a trend run. Pull back into the pocket. Look, all the DMLs were tested and held. You got this core underneath you. I mean, this thing, that was a beautiful pullback, especially with gold being so bullish, right? On the end of day analysis or the week ahead analysis that we did yesterday. So, yeah, sweetheart. Okay, thank you. Guys, I gotta babysit George, because my daughter got her first real day of school now, so George will be with us here. Curious George. Thank you. Hey JP, what's up, man? Cool. Yeah, enjoy it. We're doing Flash Week. Thanks for stopping by to say hi. And I think you guys are gonna enjoy. It's really just like exhaust week, right? Okay, so back to Adam, your thing there. That was a really good long on gold right there. And then you said there's a two bar push down on the 15. Let's go check that. Are you talking? Yeah, probably like 1, 2 right there. Yeah. Oh, are you not seeing me on camera either? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I guess it probably is good that I'm on camera. I don't know. Let me see. Thanks, Darren. Oh, there I am. Okay. Cheers, guys. You guys didn't get to see George. There he is. That's who I'm taking care of. Yeah, Adam, I would say that It's not a bad 2 bar push for sure. You're sucking up out of all that right there. I don't think that's a bad entry down there for sure. I mean, in this case, gold gave you, one opportunity to get in there in that 2 bar. Yeah, I would say that's a good 2 bar. But then just came back here and gave you a gift with that pocket. Look at the crossover here, pulling back, gives you the pocket, and then just rockets for a quick 33.88 back up to these highs, 33.97. I mean, that's a nice trade right there. So, yeah, beautiful. Good question, AB. Cheers. Okay, so guys, if you're just joining us, we're starting exhaustion reversal week. So last week we did congestion trading, how to trade range bound markets. This week we're going to pick off reversals. I think last week, out of the trades, we filtered through a lot of congestion trades, but out of the 6 or 7 that I really liked, I mean, I think we had a pretty good batting average last week. It was like, 6 out of 7 or something like that. It won't be like that all the time, but that's what happens when you increase your odds with the higher time period analysis, right? And the multiple time period analysis. It just kicks your probabilities way higher. So I'm going to start getting more aggressive with my Tradeify accounts, guys, because I've been easing into learning how to trade on stream while I'm also managing all this stuff and teaching and answering questions and explaining. So I got to really get back to a balance of my own trading with teaching you guys. And I feel like I'm settling in with that, but it does definitely take some time. So yeah, that's a good question. And you guys got any more questions? I'll just scroll through here while we're waiting. Yeah, so if you're just joining us, I said we have our answers now. Indices are bearish. So now you can see heading into New York, guys, like for the rest of the day, I'll live stream here with you guys for, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever we feel we need to do. But we're setting up the bias now for the rest of the day, right? So indices are very bearish because, we gap down this, risk off below these dynamic market levels. So we closed Friday on the daily chart here, and I said, I want to wait and see what Asia and London do with this market. Well, they sold the you-know-what out of it, right? So now that we have our clear directional bias to the downside, we're breaking through these weekly key levels here. Well, since we're in exhaust reversal week, what do we want? We want to see some sort of an exhaust on the indices higher. Like let's let the indices try and get something big going to the upside, and that's where we're going to be looking to short, right? Because we want to trade in the direction we think the daily and the weekly are heading, which right now is down. Does that make sense, you guys? So that's how you set up your playbook for the rest of the day. All right, cool. So that's ES. Same is true for Nasdaq. I mean, you're getting a nice flash setting up here on the daily for Nasdaq, but I think this tells you probably the daily is going to continue to extend to the downside. I mean, I don't see anything here on the weekly, so it looks like it wants to push down there. So we'll be looking for a reversal. If the Nasdaq, ES, Dow, whatever can try and get something going to the upside, we want to look to short it, right? Yeah, exactly. You had to see George, Darren. Good. Yeah, yeah, because she's going to school today. Maybe he can be like a fixture of our live streams. She's starting her new school. She did a couple of test days, not last week because it was Easter last week. It was Easter break for the kids here, but the week before that, she did a couple test days at the school, really liked it. So now she's starting, and yeah, she's, kind of like dependent on mom. So my wife will have to be there with her for maybe a day or two, but hopefully soon she can just go to school and be there with the kids. We've been traveling a lot, right? So it's a new experience for her to go to school. All right, so that's the game plan for the rest of the day for ES, NQ, the Dow, right? The Russell. Just wait for these reversal flashes. And I said to everybody here, you have like a pocket, that's kind of a pocket, but this is not like the kind of reversal we're looking for. This is more congestion. You know, we want to pick, when I'm talking about an exhaust, you know, we want something that's extended away from the envelope, right? So platinum there was a good example there. You see that hourly 2-bar push flashing, you know, we're away from the envelope, it's extended, you know, that's what you want. Those are the types of reversals. So here you can see, David, why I wouldn't buy platinum there, because of this is an important lesson for you guys. Always look at what you're coming out of. So if you're coming out of a powerful flash here to the downside, you know, be very, very careful of buying this. All right, so that's a good a good lesson. Nat gas, you can see, you know, that was the flash right there. I said, nah, let's not buy that because the daily's trending straight down, weekly's weak. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to cause a reaction. It might, but it's just not really something we want to bet on, you know? So that's pretty much it, you guys, in terms of the flash check, the reversal check for the 9 a.m. hourly close. We do have the open coming up here in about 7 minutes, so we can keep an eye on the Nasdaq during the open. See if anything sets up. I mean, we can, since we're waiting for the hourlies to close for 10 a.m., like, you know, let's watch the Nasdaq, the ES and the Dow at the open, and maybe at 9:45, you know, one of their 15-minute charts will give us a big exhaust that we can, you know, at least point out, if not trade. So we can do that. Just gonna get some water, you guys. How you guys doing? How was your Easter? Ah, that water's nice. Oh, good, good, man. Yeah, mine was all right. I was saying I probably worked like a little, like between 20 and 25 hours Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I had a lot of stuff to do for getting the website ready, you know, payment processing, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, like at some point I'll delegate that to other people, but in the beginning, like I like to have it done the way I want it done. So like I got to wear all the hats. And I'm looking forward to getting back to only trading, but that's all part of the growth process. I took my daughter to a little local carnival. She went on some rides. She was happy about that. She got a balloon. She got George on Friday. She's very happy about George. George was not cheap. I'm in the wrong business as a professional trader. I should open a toy store. I mean, it's incredible what they charge for these toys. Yeah, yeah, it was good overall, man. Thanks. I could have used a little more rest, to be honest, but whatever. No rest for the wicked. It is what it is. I'm looking forward to surfing. We're looking for a nanny because my wife doesn't have a driver's license, right? So then it's like I got to get in the VolPro Edge mobile and go get the groceries and stuff like that. I'm like, I'd rather pay somebody to do all that because when I'm done with all this stuff, like I want to go surfing. I don't want to go shopping, you know? So looking forward to getting more settled. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, man? Happy Easter. Nice short on Nasdaq during London. Was it Nasdaq? Yeah, it wasn't. It was here, right? Nailed it. And the 15-minute you got, let's see now, whatever that was. I don't know. I think that was where you shorted, right? For London. NQ15, yeah, right at like because you were up into this hourly resistance zone, right? And so you shorted like in here, right? Nice, man. Good trade, dude. It's fantastic. I love that you read the setup yourself and took it, you know? That's what it's all about. That's what gives me a lot of happiness, guys. You're now starting to, you've been around VolPro Edge for like 3 weeks. You've taken the course, you've been tuning into the live streams, going through the archives, and now you're starting to see how it all fits together, and you're taking your own setups, which is awesome. Like that's the goal. Um, yeah, this week with last week we put a lot of focus on trading the range bound markets with our congestion range bound playbook. This week we're going to be getting together the exhaust reversal playbook, teach you guys how to pick off reversals. So I don't know if you saw earlier, Aaron, but we did our 9 a.m. check for the reversals on the hourly. There was nothing that I liked, but we did go over, you'll see in the archives, we went over a good example of platinum. That's a really nice 2-bar push exhaust reversal there at the 7 a.m. I was asleep, obviously. That's 5 a.m. here in Costa Rica, but a good example of a 2-bar push flash. And the 15 also confirmed with its own 2-bar push, which was beautiful. Get back in here. Right there. You see it a double, they almost look like the same exact pattern. The hourly and the 15 look almost the same. Just beautiful. So yeah, exactly. That's true, man. You can only learn by executing. That's the thing. That's how you're going to get there, just by execution, just day by day, learning the system, following the patterns. But you guys are starting to see how powerful this is when you use everything together and start tying it into the higher time period analysis, putting all the time periods together and only trading from that side, where the lower hanging fruit is, right? And you're starting to see how we construct these trades. So like here on natural gas, that was a really good example of, yeah, we kind of had a little flash here for sure on the hourly. You can see section 1, boom, section 2, bang, section 3, right there, boom, 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 right? But look, you want to buy natural gas when the daily failed congestion entrance up here, we're firing in a trend run to the downside, weekly's trending down. Is that a really good environment to buy an hourly flash on natural gas? No, right? So this is how we really start to put those pieces together. All right, let's watch the open. We're going to open here in about 30 seconds. See, since we're waiting for our 10 a.m. hourly check, see if we find any more exhaust for reversals on all the different markets. What we'll do is here, the first 15 minutes of the open, we'll see if we get any reversals on the Nasdaq, because we know it's very bearish today. I expect it to stay bearish. You can see the daily is flashing here. I think this flash is going to get extended. This daily might want to gun for that extension DML down here. Still a ways to go. So I think any pullbacks up into here would be worthy of a short. So we'll watch. We'll wait for the first 15-minute close. See what we got shaking. And you guys can fire away any questions you got while we're waiting for setups. I know this is not like other live streams where we just trade in and out of bull flags and bear flags, so it's probably not as entertaining, but we're actually looking for setups, planning our playbooks, taking good trades. So you can see here the Nasdaq. I mean, I wouldn't touch this because look at the range you're in, right? Yeah, it's all good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I get it. People, I mean, look, I think, to be honest with you guys, most people are trading for the wrong reasons. And that's why the success rate in trading is so low. It's because I do think that most people do trade for entertainment, whether they know it or not. They're trading for entertainment value. They trade, for that dopamine kick or whatever. So, I get it why the YouTube channels that grow really big are the tradertainment channels for sure. But that's what makes VolPro Edge so special. Like, we've got such a nice tight knit group here, and you guys are all studying, working hard, learning the concepts. You guys are going to be in the small percentage that succeed because you're taking it as a business step by step by step by step. And that's key. So I love the group we have here, you guys. And it's not going to be for everybody either, right? Some people will stop by and they just won't get it, and you know, they'll be on their way. And I think this is the best spot you can be if you really want to learn how to trade for the long run and use a system that really, really works. But yeah, it's going to take some effort, and some people don't have the time or the will to put in that effort, right? And I understand that. Some people want to stick with their bull flags and bear flags. I get it. Not passing any judgment. All right, so see, this is a good open to stay out of, right? Pretty choppy. Probably going to squeeze, try to squeeze, but you got a little 2-bar push here in the making for the 15-minute. You know, I'd wait and see where this closes. You still got a long way till it closes. So it may close up here, and then it's not a valid short. But if we were to close, you know, below the extension here and below that core, I'd want to see the true average move up here above us. You know, you're in this live hourly pocket. So this could definitely reverse down. All right, let me know if you guys got questions. Aaron, how'd your stream go? Gold's on fire, huh? There's a really good pullback, Aaron, on gold that somebody in the group, AB, I don't say, like, if you guys don't want me to say your names on stream, your real names, because I know a lot of your real names, but sometimes I just don't say them for if you want to have privacy on YouTube or whatever. But I may say your real name from time to time. If you don't want me using your real name, just DM me and say, hey, Andy, please don't use my real name on YouTube. I don't think anyone really cares, but just in case you guys do care. So here, Aaron, look at that. I mean, this is trending up and then bang. Yeah, that is a congestion entrance bar. You got to be careful. But with gold being so bullish, gapping open, ripping higher, that's a nice, I would consider that, you know, this would be like a buy in you know, jumping on board the trend week for our trend playbook. That's a beautiful pocket pullback. Yeah, we did go for congestion entrance, but I expect, you know, with gold being on fire, that congestion support level should rocket out of there. And the 15-minute did confirm with its own 2-bar exhaust to the downside. So that's, these are the kind of setups you can start picking off, Aaron. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I miss a ton of, like, when I'm looking back at the charts, I'm like, yeah, if I could just stand here and focus all day, but I just can't, you know? So that's why the next phase with VolPro Edge is developing the automated algos. Like, for example, last night, watching the open, you see gold on the daily chart, you know, gap open above the DML, above the true average. You know how bullish you are here on the weekly. You're bullish on everything, right? So when you see that gap open, bang, you just turn on the algo. Hey, if gold gets into a trend run to the upside and pulls back into a pocket and holds the extension and congestion, you know, load the boat. And it'll do that for us while we're asleep. So that's going to be the next stage after Sierra's done. My developer did send me an update this morning. I can read it for you guys. This is for Sierra charts, which we are getting very, very close with. He said, I finished the production code now, so the server doesn't run a development version. So it runs the real, so he's building the server, it's running the code. So we're in the home stretch with Sierra charts, guys, which is going to be awesome. And the algos that we'll develop are going to be working. You know, we'll get them developed for Sierra charts. These algos have been in the works for myself for a long time, because I've been of the mindset, you know, before I even started VolPro Edge and I was developing all this and trading with it and making money, I was like, I want to, you know, be somewhere, like, this was before I was even in Costa Rica. I was like, when I'm in Costa Rica, I don't want to be staring at a screen all day. I want to be out surfing and hanging out with my kid. So my ultimate goal with VolPro Edge, for me, everybody will use it differently, but for me, is to use my end of day analysis, which, you know, most days is pretty darn spot on when we see stuff we like, and then run the appropriate algorithms on the appropriate markets day by day by day, and just turn them on, let them run, like right at the open, right? Which here in Costa Rica, that's, you know, 6 p.m. Eastern is 4 p.m. here, Costa Rica time, right? So what I would do is I would just do my end of day analysis like I do for you guys and pick my market, and be like, okay, we're going to run, these two algos on gold from the long side. You're not running short algos for gold right now, right? And just let the thing run. And then you just basically live your life, come back for the next day, do your end of day analysis, check in on your algos, how they do, collect your money, run the new algos for the next day. Are you guys like, you see the power of that? Not to mention the VolPro Edge, trading room where everybody's, picking out different setups from the playbook. But this is my personal goal for VolPro Edge, is like, I want these algos to be running around the clock while I live my life, because that's the whole point, So that'll be sweet. And guys, we'll build. I'll share my algos with you guys. You guys can think through eventually, once you know VolPro Edge good enough, you can give me ideas like, hey, I think you should build an algo that does this, this, and this, and we can build it and people can run it. So it'll be cool for sure. And Aaron, yeah, man, you're probably getting late there, so I get it, man. When you got to check out, no worries at all. I'm also feeling the burning the candle at both ends, like working on the website and all that stuff, and it's I get it when you just need a rest. So here's gold. You can see this hourly for the 10 a.m. is that's a nice flash there, right? And that might give a nice, reversal to the downside. I wouldn't short that flash because you're going against all this higher time period bullish energy. But certainly, see, guys, you can use these flashes as well to take profit, right? There's different ways to use them. So let's go back to Nasdaq, see what we got. Oof, look at that opening bar. Gosh, I think some people are getting destroyed on that open. It's the range there. 18, still not crazy ranges though. 18,060, 160. That's only 100 points. It's not, for lately, it's not bad. Oh yeah, man, cool. Love having you here, bro. Yeah, 11:39. That's not too bad. What time you usually go to bed? Like what, 1? You got to wind down a little bit, right? And then if you can sleep till 9 in the morning or 9:30, that's not bad. That's still a pretty good schedule. Just drinking my water, guys. All right. Well, we got 20 minutes. That's not going to set up an exhauster. Let's go ahead and see if we have any reversals setting up for the 10 o'clock hourly close. This is reversal week, reversal playbook week. All right. So ES, this is our hourly chart, always here, 15-minute, daily, weekly. I know you guys know this, but just for anybody who happens to stop by, always nice to update them and let them know what we're looking at here. So our main focus is the hourly chart. These are all the futures markets over here to the right. I'm going to go through all those. And last week, we were teaching the congestion playbook. This week, we're teaching the reversal playbook. And week by week, we're going to look at different aspects of the playbook using VolPro Edge. And that's how you guys learn the system as a whole, is you learn it piece by piece, the course, the playbook, all that stuff. So I thought, reversal week would be a fun week for us. So now for the 9 o'clock hourly close, we didn't see any reversals we liked. We stayed out of natural gas because, it had a reversal buy pattern, but the daily and the weekly are firing to the downside. So now we want to see if we have any flashes potentially setting up for the 10 o'clock hour. And you guys, you can use your charts as well to take a look and start scrolling through these markets, get a head start on me. So ES, no flash reversal there. And Q, we can anticipate as well, like, okay, if the hourly NQ was to blast way up here, right? Maybe challenge that high. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is how you got to think. So if it does happen, you're ready, right? Let's just pretend that if, the 15-minute chart here when this closes, if this is able to do a 2-bar push on the 15 into the hourly close and get this hourly up here like this, challenge maybe through those highs, but then close here underneath that extension DML and that extension DML, you know, that would raise this VolPro reaction level up like that. That would be, you know, a potential flash that we could look to short for reversal. So these are the things you got to anticipate. But right now, if price sits down there, there's nothing we would do. Here's the Dow. No flash there. Let's look at the Russell. No flash there. Let's look at the bonds. Going for congestion entrance up. So you guys see, right? Like once you start to understand the different types of trading and you want to pick your part of the playbook that you focus on, you see how easy it is just to scroll through the markets because you have your rules, right? You have your definitions. You know the definition of a trend. You know the definition of congestion exit, you know, trend reversal, congestion entrance. So right now we're looking for exhaust reversals. So you can easily just scroll through here and you're looking at, okay, well, the bonds are going for congestion entrance up. You know, there's no reversal there that I'd want to take, right? Look at gold. We said gold was setting up an hourly flash. This is pretty much a pure flash. When I say like a flash, those are the 3 sections that we talk about, right? That's an exhaust flash. So, but there are, as you'll see here during reversal week, we're going to cover all kinds of different variations of the flash, of the reversals, right? So you're gonna get a lot of different variations, but that's the classic reversal exhaust right there at the 3 sections. So the question is, would you want to short this on gold? Well, then you just look at the daily and be like, no. It's like just like the opposite. When the indices are falling out of bed, you don't want to try and catch a falling knife. You know, when gold is doing this, you want to not short gold and get steamrolled, right? Very important. So even though there's a flash there, we wouldn't take it because we want to look for good trades from the long side for gold. Let's look at silver. Silver kind of correcting here, but still very, very bullish. So like, you know, like silver, I can already anticipate, you know, the daily pattern on silver. Look at the daily, guys. We talked about this, right? In yesterday's end of day analysis video. So there's your pocket, right? Challenge the extension. You got the crossover. I said, you know, this is probably going to push higher because of where we were on the weekly, right? So now that daily pattern is valid all day long, right? So now I can anticipate, okay, well, I know on the indices, if we get a good reversal to the upside, that gives us some kind of an exhaustion flash for a short, that's what I want. Well, silver here is the opposite. If the hourly, at any point during the day, guys, not just when we're live streaming, take these notes from our time together at the open, and then if you're gonna watch the hourly closes for the rest of the day, then these are the things you want to pay attention to, right? So the silver right here, right? Like if we were to get a big move like this at some point during the day and really give us a big flash like that, you know, back down into that support level there, 32.50, that would be a gift. You know, you'd want to buy that all day long. So I'll be looking, even when we wrap up the live stream, guys, but we're going to be here for a while longer. I'm not saying we're wrapping up, but when we do wrap up, I'm going to be looking for reversal. And I'm going to trade this playbook this week with you guys, right? This is what because I want to call it out in the Discord when we're seeing stuff set up outside of the streaming hours, right? So, you know, I'm going to be looking for shorts on ES, NQ, YM, right? Flash exhaustion shorts. Whereas gold and silver, I'll be looking for longs, and then we'll just kind of, you know, monitor our favorite markets. I think the bonds are not really, you know, I don't trade bonds that often, but they look very, very weak. So yeah, if bonds gave us a good opportunity to get short, I think that would be a good call for the rest of the day. So this is how you look and you see what the charts are doing and you say, okay, you know, the rest of the day, I love the idea of looking for a reversal short on bonds, reversal short on the indices, reversal long on gold, silver. Does that make sense to you guys? How you set this up? there's gold. Talked about that. Let's look at copper. That's where we left off before I went on my rant. Yeah, so copper also looking, bullish. So any kind of a big, flash reversal to buy and catch back up on the hourly. But, silver looks better for sure, because why does silver look even better? Well, because silver's got that beautiful daily pocket pattern right here. So, I mean, I'm loving that. Copper's still not bad. I mean, look, we're trending very strongly to the upside, like I've so this just go with this energy and then look for the trades that set up into your key levels with your key types of trading, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, so platinum also, I mean, I guess if platinum got back down here, I'd be interested, because you got that nice congestion support level there. You got the old extension there. So you got a lot of support here. You're still in that pocket there, right, for platinum. So same thing. If we get a pullback with platinum, but they're going to probably, if platinum pulls back big, silver probably will too. And one of them will set up a really good trade. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's look at crude. So crude here, that weekly looks pretty bearish to me on crude now that I look at it like this. I mean, we pulled back to the middle of the envelope. There's a nice little pocket. I mean, I think crude wants to head back down here for sure. So that means the daily trending up. What should happen, guys? Well, we should go for congestion entrance down. And then we should, do something like this. We'll see where the day closes, but that looks like a pretty bearish pattern on the weekly crude chart. So coming out of, so this is how we set this up, right? If we got all this resistance pushing down on the weekly, and we know on the daily, that's actually a little, I didn't see this. This is hindsight, this particular one, because I didn't really notice this yesterday. I wasn't really paying that much attention. I missed it. But you can see now during the day, that is a 2-bar push right there on the daily, right? We held that extension, but then we burst up here. But now we challenge the next extension. That's your 2-bar push. The dynamic market level, right? That's resistance right there, because we gapped lower right below the true average and the core DML right there, the yellow dot. So now these are driving price down on the daily for congestion entrance down, while the weekly is also pushing price down. So what does that mean? Well, if crude tries to give us a counter rally on the hourly chart today and gives us an opportunity to short and exhaust, that's what we want on crude today, right? So this is how we set it up for the day. And guys, exhausts are one of my favorite types of trades to take, because when you nail them, like platinum here, right there, where the 15 and the hourly, just that's a perfect 2-bar push exhaust for reversal, bang, straight back down, right there into all that resistance, right? When you nail these exhausts correctly, people are trapped, right? So you have pretty quick confirmation if you're right on the trade or not. And that's why I like these, because I like to get in trades. I'm not the kind of trader where I like to sit around and watch my trade sitting at break even for 35 minutes. Some people do that. I like my thing to move, right? So the exhaust will give you that opportunity, because you're going to be proven right or wrong pretty quickly, depending on whether those traders are trapped, and if your exhaustion read, your reversal read, if that read is correct, you'll know pretty quickly, because those traders that are trapped, like here, for example, on platinum, right? Everybody who went long up in here thinking this thing is breaking out, they got to now start, bailing on those positions, and that accelerates the move to the downside, which is why these reversal trades are great trades. Some of my favorite in the VolPro Edge playbook are the reversals, but to be honest, the whole playbook's awesome. That's what's kind of hard to pick your favorite one. I love congestion too. Like last week, the range bound trading. I mean, that's a great part of the playbook as well. All right, let's go back to our check here. So we left off with crude. Remember, this is for 10 a.m. hourly check, which is in 9 minutes. We're going to see if we can find any reversals that we take live. If not, we're constantly planning for the rest of the day like we're doing here. So crude, we know we want to take a short. And guys, just analyzing like this, it keeps you on the right side of the market, right? So you're not, see how helpful that is to just 90% of the time just not be on the wrong side of the market? right? Like imagine, look at crude just getting smoked right here, guys, right? And look, our analysis says this should go down because the daily's going for congestion entrance down. So just not looking to buy longs on crude. If you're a crude trader, you know, is saving you tons and tons of money today. All right, let's look at natural gas. So that was that. I mean, you can see the daily is already setting up for its flash here, right? Section 1, 2, 3, bang. We're going to challenge these support DMLs, these extensions down here, right? I wouldn't bet on these, but we're probably headed down there for the rest of the day. So nat gas and crude look weak. Want to favor the short side the rest of the day, just like the indices, okay? Let's look at heating oil. Same thing with heating oil. That's now you can see on the daily heating oil, it's mirroring crude. This is a really good 2-bar push. Bar 1 on the daily, bar 2 on the daily, and now just bang. Those longs are trapped. We're coming out of that. So the rest of the day, you want to look for shorts in heating oil, right? Shorts in heating oil, shorts in crude, shorts in the indices, longs, gold, silver, probably platinum, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Copper as well. Those look bid. So, and that's all from yesterday's week ahead analysis, right? So the metals should be strong. We want to see what Asia and London were doing with the indices. We now have our answer. And now you got, you know, I don't want to say it's going to be shooting fish in a barrel, but if you wait for the right setups the rest of the day, you're on the right side of the market, right? So then you just got to wait for those setups to come to you. That makes sense, you guys? I feel like we're off to a good start for reversal week. Let's go ahead and look at gasoline. Same thing with gasoline. Now we have confirmation we're coming out of the daily exhaust. So gasoline, you want to look to short. And we're just going to wait for big pops on the hourly, big opportunities to reverse and get short back down, right? I'm not chasing this down here. And if it just keeps going without pulling back, then fine. You know, it can keep going. And this is where, like, I'm not a scalper because I don't have the energy to scalp. But for those of you who are scalping, you know, like, okay, if you're going to be a crude oil scalper, you know, just scalp from the short side the rest of the day, and you're going to be in great shape, right? All right, here's the Euro US. That's not a, you know, when I say we're looking for reversals, guys, we want markets that are, you know, a little bit extended from the envelope or a lot extended. We don't want to trade stuff in and around the envelope, right? On the hourly here. So anything that's looking like this is more, you know, congestion trading. That's not what we're looking for, right? What's up, Jacob? I mentioned you earlier in the stream. When you watch the archive, I went over something I think you'll find interesting. Had a busy night, morning, covered this in the vid last night. Yearly at extension, DML under us. Monthly right above, quarter but weekly. Yeah. So yeah, right now for me, we have our answer. The weekly on the way we opened. What we saw Asia and London do here, Jacob, is that we gapped open a little lower, I believe, on Nasdaq. We haven't even touched. I mean, I was waiting to see. I said that Nasdaq and Dow definitely looked more bearish to me, but the ES was like, I want to wait and see. Well, we have our confirmation now. It looks like the weekly, these DMLs are breaking, so we're probably headed at least down to the envelope bottom, if not down to that extension, right? So I would pay attention to that in the short term, right? So now today we want to look to get short any counter rallies on the hourly chart for Nasdaq. We want to look to short, Jacob. So that's what we're going to be waiting for. We have our directional bias now. We want to look to short indices, short energies, long metals, and we're looking for our exhaust playbook, reversal playbook. All right, so we got, hope that answers that, Jacob. Good to have you here, man. All right, we got like 3.5 minutes. Yeah, we're at that support, but see, the weekly is telling us now, if the weekly support is breaking down and the daily is trending to the downside now, we got a trend reversal. It's telling us for this moment, we're not really, you know, respecting those higher time period support levels, right? So this is kind of the interplay between the time periods that you'll get used to with time. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, and you are seeing it more. I can already tell from, your analysis and your questions and everything. So you are getting it. A lot of you guys are getting it very quickly. And if it takes some time to get it too, that doesn't even matter. Like honestly, I didn't expect any of you guys to get any of this really for at least a few months because, it's like learning a new language, right? You don't just pick it up overnight. Let's see, I got some messages. Hang on a second. That's crazy, Aaron. Oh man, I just saw your message. I don't know if you're here in bed, but that's nuts, man. Top Step TV went short gold. Like, guys, they should watch my stream. All right. So 10 a.m. check here in 2 minutes. We don't want to miss anything. Let's look at the meets. That's a nice little flash for a reversal there on feeder cattle. Probably not going to take it because it's feeder cattle, but I want to point it out. Hogs, that's more of a pocket. Let's look at live cattle. This is the most liquid of the meats. Pretty nice flash. I mean, to be honest, these types of flashes, guys, this is kind of like personal preference. It's up to you. But that kind of a flash where look, it already happened. You're from here all the way down to here. So do I want to be shorting here? Not really, because where does my stop have to be? Right? Like that's already happened. And that's the same with feeder cattle here. That's why I don't like. You're still flashing, but the exhaust has come and gone. You want the ones that are like exhausting, closing up there, then you short to the downside, right? So this is soybean meals. Soybean meal, that's not really a flash. This is soybean oil. No flash. Soybeans, no flash. Wheat. Wow, it's getting wrecked. Nice little flash there on the weekly chart for wheat here. Now that we're going over this, see that? So wheat could definitely be headed back down here. Let's see if the daily goes from trend up to congestion entrance down. That would be interesting. But no flash on the hourly there for wheat. Let's look at corn. The daily on corn is pretty messy here. Yeah, no flash there on corn. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin was a good call in the end of day analysis yesterday. If you go back and watch yesterday's video for the week ahead, this is what I was thinking about you, Jacob. I don't want to repeat this in full detail. You can watch it in the archives, but at the beginning of this stream, I talked about why I thought this weekly resistance pocket and this daily resistance pocket would fail and Bitcoin would squeeze higher. So that's just giving you an idea of how to use, when the pockets fail, there are also really good trades going through. So if you're always looking like, oh my God, I'm stuck between so much resistance and so much support. Yeah, but you got to use the time frames, tie it all together and bet on what side is going to break, right? That's what's super important. All right, let's go back to ES. So do you guys see any good reversals for any of your markets? If you're looking at your VolPro Edge charts, your hourly charts, do you guys scan through? Let me know if you see any reversals. I don't see any. We've got a great bias now for the rest of the day. I know I want to, if indices pull back and give us a gift to short, we will. If energies give us a gift to short, we will. If metals give us a gift to long, we will. But if this thing is just going to fall straight out of bed the rest of the day, then obviously, you're not going to, and exhaust is when traders are trapped. So if this thing just keeps falling, we're not going to get a reversal. Okay, cool, Jacob. That sounds good, man. So let me know if you guys got questions or if you're seeing anything else. And, depending on, what you guys want to do, I'm looking for the reversals because that's the playbook we're teaching this week. So the fact that this is, trending to the downside now on the 15-minute without us, I don't care because I plan my week and then I just focus on my plan, right? So the plan for this week is to get a lot of good reversal practice in and teach you that aspect of the playbook. And that's why you gotta have patience learning the playbook, like piece by piece. But I'm telling you guys, like it's already paying off huge for some people. And the more you stick with the plan and take it piece by piece, you're going to be a much better trader than 99.9% of people out there on YouTube who are wasting their time with tradertainment and they're not actually using their days and their time effectively. Like, trading is a job, although it's a job that can be a lot of fun. It requires a lot of study and a lot of seriousness. What's up, Ralph? Too much coffee, couldn't sleep. Oh yeah, I got you, man. Coming to this AM here. Yeah, cool, man. Good to have you here, bro. I think there's lots of good nuggets in this live stream so far. If when we post it in the archives, go watch the archives, and you'll hear a lot of good stuff that you can take notes on. And guys, Ralph is really sharing a lot of notes of his own analysis in the notes channel, the Discord. So for those of you that have time and energy, I encourage you to join in with him and start building out this playbook, one piece at a time. So last week, we nailed congestions. Hopefully you guys are very clear now on how to trade range bound markets with VolPro Edge, right? And then you got to come up with the notes for that playbook. Ralph's gotten everybody started. This week, we're going to do, hopefully more of you can contribute on the note side. I know not everybody has time. So whoever has time, I'm not doing it because I'm doing this and then, I'm passing the baton off to you guys. You got to take the notes and share the notes. Because I believe that you get better when you do it yourself, right? If I do it for you, it's not going to help you. It's like math, right? If I do the math for you, it's harder for you to learn because your brain doesn't have to do the math. Yeah, it's all coming together. I thought your notes were really good, Ralph, on the congestion playbook for sure. All right. So we've got our playbook for the rest of the day here. I mean, like, I'm not really going to look for longs. I mean, look, the indices, okay, I favor the short side, but I mean, let's just go through a mental exercise here. Let's just say this hourly here on Nasdaq, right? Right? This could be congestion exit here. And then if we start to get like a move down like this, right, that will already start to make section 2 of the flash. Now, if we went like this and had a huge flash like that, down in, sorry, this is ES, you guys know what I mean, had a huge flash into like, 5170. Would I consider taking that? Yeah, maybe, because if this thing, here on the daily, I mean, if we're way the hell down here, you'd be at the weekly envelope bottom at that point. Yeah, then I could even consider if the 15-minute, confirmed, you could look to play along like that. And then, so these are the things that I'll be monitoring the rest of the day. And in the Discord, guys, just hour by hour by hour, look at all your markets and see if we've got anything that you think is a flash. Here's the Nasdaq. Russell. So my preferred side for the indices is I want to get short. But if we get so far overextended and we get a flash, into the weekly envelope bottom, yeah, that could be good for a 150 point, 200 point Nasdaq reversal from the long side? Definitely. It's not something I'd be against. So again, this is all putting it into context, right? Like you want to be on the right side of the market, which today is obviously the short side, but that doesn't mean you can't get a perfect potential flash reversal to the long side if you're just so far overextended and you run into some higher time period support like the weekly envelope bottom, or maybe you got a key quarterly level there or whatever, right? Let's look at the 10-year, 30-year, ultra bonds, gold. So this was the example here with gold. Why, yeah, you have that hourly flash for a short, but there's no way I'd be shorting gold right now, right? Only Top Step TV will short gold right now. I don't want to short gold. I think that the daily is going up here on gold. Hey, Tim Nasi, NQ near daily extension now. Yeah, exactly. But I think that, you know, daily extension probably based on the hourly right now looks like it wants to break. This market looks very, very weak. So we'll see. We'll see what sets up the rest of the day for the reversal playbook. Andy, for the NQ, where would optimal entries be? You would wait for the 15 to enter and wait for a close in the 1850, 1880. Well, I'm doing the reversal playbook now, Jacob, but what do you mean, like optimal entry for what kind of trading? Like, are you talking about jumping on board the trend to the downside? If you just clarify a little, and then I'll let you know what I think. For a short, yeah, well, I mean, right now, yeah, I look, if the hourly continues to stay weak, then if you want to do a trend playbook on the 15-minute chart, you just wait for the 15 to pull back into some sort of a pocket like that, and then try and get short and jump on board like that. I mean, a good example of that, let's just find like an example, something like this, right? So there, you see, if you're pushing down, pull back, there's your pocket. You know, that's a pretty, yeah, it might blow you out of the box, but your stop is at least tight up in here. And if you're correct, you know, you catch a nice drop. So I'd be looking for something like that. This is what we're going to cover during trend week, right? That'll be the trend trading part of the playbook. But for me this week, that's why I'm only focusing on reversals, because I want you guys to get better at each part of the playbook step by step. And I really think you guys, you know, if you're like Scalper, you know, Rafa, he's got his own little system with his EMAs and VolPro Edge, and he's doing great, and that's fantastic. But if you're like struggling for guidance, or you know, let's say like you're looking for traction, I really would encourage you to focus your mind on the pieces of the playbook that I'm teaching each week. So last week, you should have been all in on congestions, just looking on your own charts, even when we're not streaming, just look for congestion, become good at that. This week, look for hourly flash reversals. Like, so I think that's what you should do, Jacob. I think like this week now, we're studying reversals. I wouldn't even worry about NQ dropping now. I would really try and focus on these reversals and learn as much as you can about them, so you start getting your playbook together piece by piece by piece. And I know it may be frustrating because you see the market move and like you want to get in and make money. I get that, but I'm trying to help you guys lay the foundation so you can make consistent money, you know, for a long time, right? And there's a sacrifice there in the short term, just like I'm sacrificing right now. Like my own trading a little bit, but by learning how to teach on stream, try to do my own trade. Like I'm sacrificing that short term because I believe in VolPro Edge and I want to teach you guys these playbooks. But you're also gonna have to like realize that you got to build this foundation first, right? So yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm just doing that because I think it's gonna help you a lot, Jacob. It'll help you get like more focus of VolPro Edge piece by piece. And I know that it's going to take some discipline for sure. I understand that. But I know the power of my playbooks, guys. And if you just learn them piece by piece by piece, and then decide which aspects you want to use, you're going to go out and kill it. And then there will be the rare guy like Rafa, who he just came up with his own thing on how to use the VolPro Edge dynamic market levels with his EMAs, and he's doing great. That's fine. Like he's got a system, he's following it. But I want to teach you, if you don't have a system already that you're following, I want to teach you develop your system piece by piece, playbook by playbook by playbook. So I hope that makes sense for you guys, because I really do care about you guys a lot. You know, this is for me, VolPro Edge. This is like my life's work. It's my passion, and I love my own trading. But what I think is going to be super cool and give me I'm going to feel so good about the fact that like 2, 3, 4 years from now, how many millionaire traders came out of the VolPro Edge trader development? And I know it's going to be a lot. So, because like some of you are even going to be way better traders than me, because I'm a good trader. I make a lot of money, but some of you are going to be like lights out market wizards traders, and you just didn't have the playbooks. And now you're going to get the playbooks and go kill it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So any questions, guys, while we wait? So I'm just going to be monitoring. I'm looking for reversal opportunities on all these markets the rest of the day, even when we're not streaming. So, you know, those of you who are also, even if you have a job, you know, you still can have your hourly chart open, and, you know, maybe, you know, you'll be in a meeting or something, so you can't check every hour, but that's what's great about the hourly. Like you can just take a little peek, you know, 5 minutes heading into every hourly close, just see if you see a good reversal setup. And if you do, post it in the Discord. If I see it, I will post it in the Discord. I can be more active with my own trading this week finally again, because I got a lot of the website building stuff behind me. The payment processing is now working, like all that kind of stuff. So, oh, by the way, we're supposed to do a drawing for the 50K Top Step evals. We'll do that before I go. Remind me. And then there are some of you I've already given 50K evals to, so I'm going to go through my notes and then I'll contact you via DM. I think I gave away like 4 or 5 50K evals in the Discord, and I'll give away 3 more just as a thank you to you guys for your testimonials and being here and all that. So, and then I'll figure out, like, probably I'll just PayPal you guys or whatever, you know, so you can go buy the 50K eval or do what you want with the 50 bucks. So Adam, if the hourly on NQ would bomb down to the extension at 17,880 down there, would I consider that a 2-bar? Yeah, it definitely is possible for sure. I like the way you're thinking. Yeah, because you also have, you see here, you've got these live oncoming core DML supports. These are valid. If these, and these will adjust. The math on these will adjust as this is dropping. So if this bombs down here, you know, for the 11 o'clock hourly close is what Adam is saying, and we get like a, you know, let's say a bar that looks like this. Yeah, that could be a valid 2-bar for a potential push back up. Sure. And then that would depend on what the 15-minute would be telling us. But yeah, definitely. And I got to figure out how to do like a random generator thing to give away those other 3 top step evals. So I got to put all your names in a hat. We'll figure that out. So yeah, I mean, these could definitely be, it depends too, Adam, you know, on the Nasdaq there for that 2 bar here, you know, look, the weekly envelope is coming in, you know, right in here at like, you know, pretty close to that level. So that could cause a little bit of a reaction. I still be very careful on a day like this, you know, when we're bombing to the downside, but it definitely could be a potential setup. So Ralph, on the daily, on NQ reaction lines crossing that same area, here, yeah, I mean, this is still, you know, forming, so we haven't locked yet, but yeah, right now it's starting to cross, and you got that flash on the daily forming, for sure. Looking to the right more. Are you talking? I think I gotta understand better what you're trying to say, Ralph. Oh yeah, 401k is getting dumped for sure. Yeah, I had a pretty strong sense that the whatever crash we're going through right now is not over because we haven't seen any capitulation yet. I still have like on a longer term basis, I'm still waiting. I'm being very patient. I'm waiting, you know, for tech. I'm kind of waiting for down here, 15 into the 15,000s down in here. So I think this can definitely go a lot lower. And then that, because I've been looking for like a 35% correction, and that would kind of put us there. Whew. So I think that's pretty much where we're at, guys, in terms of waiting for the 11 o'clock close. Just we're looking for reversals. We went through all these markets. We know what we expect the rest of the day, and now you just got to let the reversals come to you. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll probably wrap the stream up, you know, before the 11 o'clock. But then I'll post inside the Discord, you know, if I see anything for that 11 o'clock check, because I'm going to be trading. And if you guys are trading and you see something, you post it as well. Because now we've got a good handle on what we expect for the day. So you know what I'll do, guys, for the giveaways. If I've already given you an eval, I'll DM you. You know, I think I'll have time today. If not, like in the next day or two, you get a DM from me. You know that I'm sending you some PayPal money. And then for those of you who left a testimonial, and I haven't given a 50K eval yet, I'm just gonna put those in a hat, and then I'll give away. I'll draw. I'm gonna find some, you know, automatic generator system, you know, for giveaways. People do that. I don't really know how those work, but and I'll give away 3 more. So that'll be nice. And yeah, appreciate all the nice, thoughtful words you guys gave. Means a lot. Oh, I see what you're saying, Ralph. I mean, I see what you're saying now, Ralph. Yeah. Now I get what you're saying. You know, I don't really look that far back, but you know that I'm not going to say it's not going to be valid. And you also have, you know, a little bit of a valley of the middle of the envelope there with it, like you said. So yeah, there could be some temporary support there, especially if, you know, like right here on ES and NQ, if we get that 2 bar bomb to the downside. But I would still be very, very careful from the long side of this market today, guys, because this is, you know, I think that the easier money is going to be made, you know, from the short side. It's never easy, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that's good. I mean, look, that's see, I never pay attention. I haven't paid attention to that, Ralph, but that's where you guys are going to start finding things in the VolPro Edge system that I haven't really paid attention to, right? And you'll find stuff that's valid, and then we'll all learn more, which is cool. So yeah, I'd be very, very careful, guys, playing from the long side today. I mean, I think the money's going to be made. I think the markets are going to be under pressure all day. So I'm going to be looking for, you know, shorts. So I'm going to leave you guys soon, but I will post the 11 o'clock check in the Discord, in the trading chat, and I'll tag everyone, you know, if I see something. And if you guys see something, you know, point it out and I'll let you know, what I think about it. But I'm going to be looking to short indices, right? Especially, you know, from the reversal playbook side of things. And I'm going to be looking to probably short bonds if I get something there. I'll be looking to long the metals if I get a setup there. I'll be looking to short the energies if I get a setup there. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be focusing on the rest of the day. And I think there will be a couple of decent trades as long as we just wait for these markets to set up and give us the trades. So that's what I'm going to do. And you guys have any questions before I go? So I think I've set you up nicely now for the rest of the day. And that's really my goal with New York, is to come in here. If we get some trades the first couple hours, great. If not, I want to set you up for the rest of the day, you know, so you're on the right side and you make money. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, still learning how to do all this, but you know, it's coming together piece by piece. So just another few minutes, you guys, if you got any questions. And you know, if I leave before you post a question, just go post it in the Discord. And you know, I always answer questions in the Discord. Pocket Flash is something I'm curious. Yeah, there'll be tons of examples, Ralph, this week with Pocket Flash. Like we may get a Pocket Flash today on the indices or on crude. I mean, there might be a big attempt to rally and give us some good pocket flashes that we try to get short into. So you guys are going to learn a lot about the different types of reversals this week for the playbook. And there's lots of little variations, which are really cool. So, and I'm excited about this week too, because it's like kind of the first week since we launched VolPro Edge 3 weeks ago, where I kind of feel like things are settling in. I've got my routines going. You know, I've got the website built, the payment processing's finished. You know, the UK company set, like all that admin stuff is slowly winding down, so I can get back to what I do best, which is trade. So I'm excited about that. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Give a like if you don't mind before you head out the door. I appreciate it, and it does help the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the Discord. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be trading these markets the rest of the day, so I will let you know what I see in the Discord. So actively monitor the Discord. If I see a trade I'm going to take, I will tag at everyone, and I'll tell you, you know, where I'm getting in, where my stop is. You know, I'll give you my reasons for the trade, all that kind of stuff. All right. Thanks for the like, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll have a great week. You know, we're off to a good start. We'll have a great week. Thanks, Verve. Appreciate it, man. Cheers. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Thanks, Mr. America. Jacob, do you still fire up the live stream when you see great setup? Yeah, I'm gonna do that, you know, when I have time. So I'm starting now, Jacob, to get into more, you know, I'm starting to get a little bit more time because of all the admin stuff being, you know, less and less. So yeah, if I'll either fire up the live stream, and if I don't, I will give you the trade in the Discord, which is the same thing. You know, I'll say this is what I'm taking right now, and I'll give it to you before I take it. So either way, you'll get it. So make sure you guys have your notifications on um, for the Discord, because you know you don't want to. This is not a signal service, but you don't want to miss any trades, right? Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the Discord. Bye.